Hello, and welcome to the Popish Plot. I'm Jessica. It's another episode of our summer book club, and today we're working on Chapter 2, or Children and Pigs. Now, this is part of a collab with other YouTubers, so down below you'll have links to all the other YouTubers who are doing a video. So after you watch this, go ahead, check out some of their videos to see what they have to say on the subject of Chapter 2, which is on children. Now, for those of you who have watched the show for a while, you know I have two children. One who is a teenager, and the other is 10. However, as I don't like to put my kids on the YouTube channel, because one hams it up and the other one is a teenager, I thought instead I'd use this opportunity to show my little babies, who are guinea pigs. This one is Patches. He's an Abby. And this one who's making all the scampering noises Pickles, and he's an American Shorthair. Now, I did put these out because they're cute, and when there's more than one of us, it's too loud for them. They won't go out and do things, and so it's an excuse to show off my guinea pigs. But I also did it because it's on children. And yes, pets are not the same as children, but people have pets in many ways for the same reason we have children. Because we love things, and we want to show love and care to little things who can't take care of themselves. And again, so I can show off my little babies. But on to the actual chapter itself about real human children who aren't going to show up because one will constantly run around the stage, showing off, and the other one will sulk in the corner being a teenager. In this chapter, she includes, for the start, a story about when she was a mother of a kindergartner and her problems with, disconnecting herself from her child, as in, if my child is acting up, then, somehow it reflects on the fact that, I as their mother, and how to get over these feelings. So it then goes into life lessons that includes the various roles that you have as a mother, like a prayer warrior, the bad guy, the builder, points out how, you have to build them up and raise them. It has a section on if you have a blended family. And then it once again gives you homework, which in this case includes things like praying for your children, talking to your husband so that you establish family standards, so that way they can't play the game of just asking whichever parent they know is going to give them the response that they want. Listening to how you give feedback to your children. And then once again ends with web resources for where to get more information for help on these subjects. So overall, given that you can read huge 300-400 page books on, parenting from a distinct Catholic, Christian, general, all sorts of ways, and this is only about, 7 or 8 pages, it does a good job of the broad overlay ideas. Don't eat so fast you choke on your food. There is one thing that is my usual rant about things that it does get into, of the idealized past, pointing out that her mother didn't have to deal with things like cyberbullying or Amber Alerts, which, yeah, there was no cyberbullying, because when she was growing up, the only one who might possibly have the internet was governments and perhaps major universities, as I believe it started in the late 60s, early 70s, but, again, it only belonged to places like that. However, yes, there wasn't Amber Alerts, because when some kid got kidnapped, you just didn't know about it unless you were in the area. It didn't mean it didn't happen. I mean, I've read things that show that statistically it actually happened more back then, simply because we didn't teach kids how to avoid such things. Like, the first season of Sesame Street is out on a DVD. You can buy it. It has a parental warning, because it involved things like kids playing in the junkyard unsupervised, kids following a complete stranger because he offered them ice cream, and other things that we would look at now and never ever allow. So that is my one negative of this chapter. The fact that yes, you didn't have to worry about these things, not because they didn't happen, but just because they didn't have international and national news that made it well known. But besides that, another interesting chapter. You know, you can't talk about being a Catholic mom without talking about being a mom. Although it is a very, brief amount of the subject, it covers many important main points about mothering / parenting in general. And it gave me an excuse to show off my guinea pigs. We're technically my kids' guinea pigs, but all the other mothers know how this works. They wanted guinea pigs. Well, they wanted something fuzzy. I wanted to get a bearded lizard and name it Princess Spike, but they insisted that it needed fur, so we settled on guinea pigs. This one is my oldest. This one's my youngest. I am the one who feeds them. I'm the one who cleans their cage. I'm the one who makes sure they are healthy. They pet them and play with them until they decide that they're going to do something like they enjoy trying to eat your hair, and then they go back in their cage. Hey, little one. So anyway, go down below, click on some of the links of the other people to see what they had to say that were probably much more about actual children and not just an excuse to show off their pets. And until next time, remember, live your faith, love your faith, share that love. Hey boys, are you happy and content?